Welcome back to Ethereans Community, guys. Thank you for continuing to follow us. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please press on the red subscribe button and activate the bell so that you get notified about all of our future videos. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the official plan that we've got for our upcoming delegation. As you may have seen in the news, we've finally been accepted as an official EthereansOS delegation, and we're really, really excited about it. So stay with us. Over the last week, you would have seen the delegation module has finally come to life. And as part of that, there are already two delegations that have been officially announced. One is our own, Ethereans Community. The other one is Cypher Party from Max Flyer, which we featured in one of our last videos. As far as we understand, there is another 4 delegations which are yet to be announced, but that I'm sure we will come to find out more of over the next coming days. And EthereansOS has generally allocated a 10 Ethereum grant towards each delegation to get them started. So we thought it was a good idea, first of all, to give a big thank you to the EthereansOS team for giving us the trust and to sort of help us really bring our proposition to life. And also very big thank you to all of you that continue to follow us, continue to support, and are very, very generous with your comments across all of our social media. If you follow the channel, you would have seen that in a video a couple of months ago, we start sort of sharing a plan of what we had in mind for our own delegation. We had produced a pie chart, which was kind of breaking down the way that we felt those the investment grant money was going to be best placed. And obviously that was based on what we knew at the time without all the information that followed over the next couple of months. We did say that it was subject to change, but actually in reality we are still going to be sticking pretty much to what we have agreed. There are a few small variations. We have simplified the plan a little bit more so that it's easier to comprehend, and we're going to go through it all in this video. So just for you guys to have a little recap, here's the pie chart that we published a couple of months ago. And within that, we had a allocation across the advertisement piece that we want to be allocating towards the EthereansOS project, the advertisement piece towards Ethereans community in terms of actually growing our audience and reach, an investment part, which refers to anything that we actually need to run our channel, to produce more content, to do things generally at a higher quality standard. There is a salary part, which obviously ensures that people within the team can continue to do what we do and do it on a more consistent basis, as well as, of course, utilizing some of that towards bringing other people on site to be able to do more things over a period of time. There was a chunk that was allocated towards farming, which at the time we said it was going to be to open a farming contract on OS. And we wanted initially to sort of allocate all of the earnings from that as a kickback to all of the supporters that decide to stake their tokens onto our delegation. And then finally, there was a 5% which was allocated towards a charity, which we are going to be choosing very, very soon. That brings us to today. Obviously, Ethereum price has varied since the last video. We are a much lower sort of price point right now than we used to be. So as part of that, we need to sort of reshuffle a little bit what we have in mind. And also we thought that the biggest thing that you guys have always told us, and you keep bringing onto the chart, the chats and the various social media, is that marketing is what's been missing from this project. As you know, our initiative is about marketing, it's about making noise about the project, it's about getting more people to know about it. So we actually felt that it was the right thing to do to really concentrate on that particular piece and actually allocate a more substantial part towards it. As a result of that, as you can see here, I'm going to give you a breakdown on the split that we're going to go forward with. Of course, a lot of the expenditures and investments are going to be put down to vote. So it's very important that you guys get part of the conversation so that you can have an impact in helping us structure the direction that we're going to take. So the biggest chunk of the 10 Ethereum grant is going to go towards the advertisement piece of EthOS. And that's a whole 50%, which we have increased from 35% compared to what we initially launched with. A 10% is going to go towards our own promotion that was slightly reduced from what we initially planned. And this is essentially to do with doing some paid for posts on various social media, doing some campaigns on YouTube to really increase the numbers of subscribers and followers. And that naturally is also going to have a positive impact on the advertisement piece for EthOS, because obviously we are also we could be considered a third-party marketing provider like many of the others that we're going to be utilizing. Then we're moving into salaries, which is 20%. This, as I said, is going to cover basically the people within the team. Is also going to cover, most importantly, a resource that is going to be dedicated towards creating and managing our website, which we're soon going to be launching. Then we're moving into the investment part, which is 15%. This is essentially necessary stuff that we need to really get our standard up and being able to do a couple of things that we're not currently doing. Obviously, this is not going to be a continuous cost. It is an investment that we're going to be needing on day one to get started, but we're not going to be continuing to allocate a 15% moving forward as the year progresses, naturally. Farming, for now, we decided to put that on hold, and I explain you why. The idea initially was to not necessarily incentivize, but give something more to the supporters that stake their token into our project. And we were under the impression that we could sort of, everything that we farm, all the rewards, we then split across all the people. But in reality, when you actually think about calculations and all this sort of stuff, it just doesn't make any commercial sense, because say there are hundreds of supporters. I mean, we're only going to be, if we were to farm with 15% of the allocation, so 1.5 Ethereum, so you put 0.75 on one side, 0.75 worth of OS on the other side. In reality, as it stands, you're only farming approximately just under 0.5 OS per day, which, if you have to distribute that over a number of people, it will cost you more in transactions fees than actually the reward is worth. So instead, we're going to put that on hold for a second, and we're going to revisit that very, very soon, with the idea that when we can, we're going to build those farming rewards up, and then ideally, say we put them in a little pot, it sits there for a whole year. At the end of the year, we have, X amount of OS available, and with that amount, we can put down to vote on how we are going to be spending that money. It can be something we can invest them towards more advertisement. We can invest them towards a activity that is of value to our members, or even things like producing some merchandise that we can give for free to all of you guys that are following us. Okay. And then the charity piece, it still stays at 5%, but we are yet to decide what we're going to be allocating that towards. If any of you guys got any good charity ideas, then feel free to get in contact and let us know. We'll come back to that very, very soon. That brings us to the advertisement piece. Okay, I want to go in a little bit more detail with regards to that, because I know that that is the most important part, and it's not something that has ever been done for this project. I think there are a number of different ways the advertisement can be seen. Okay, we can look at articles, we look at partnering with other providers, putting some banners on some websites, but where we feel we're going to get the most tangible result is really focusing, at least to begin with, on the two core social medias that we think have the biggest traction: Twitter and YouTube. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of homework in terms of getting in contact with a lot of YouTube influencers within the crypto space that have got a presence on both of the two platforms. And we've been getting a lot of quotes, really to get our head around what are the actual costs of running this stuff. And I wanted to put a little emphasis on this point, because for anyone that's never done any sort of paid for promotion, what you'll find is that when you start getting in the domain of, influencers that have got a substantial amount of following and subscription base, etc., the costs are actually very, very high. Okay, just to throw some numbers out there, just so that you start sort of painting some proportions. If you were to do like a short video with Chico Crypto, which, as you know, is a quite well-renowned YouTube influencers with over 200,000 subscribers, or something with BitBoy Crypto that's got like 1.5 million subscribers, you're looking in excess of $15,000 to $20,000 per piece. Okay, so with that in mind, we need to be really, really conscious about it. And essentially what we want to do is we want to save our best ammunition when the right time comes. Okay, as of today, we've got a project which is very far down the line in terms of completion. We already got at least half of the modules already live. We know Covenants is being worked on as we speak, and it will be live very soon. And then it will be organizations, and then hopefully we'll have a finished product which we can actually proudly show to everybody. Timescales wise is not for me to say when there will be. The indications looking at Discord, the team at EthOS seems to be very positive that this will be done very soon. So for the purpose of this conversation, let's assume that it'll be ready in 3 months from now. Okay. Aside from this, pardon me, you would have also seen that in about 10 days time, EthOS is also putting on the play an additional $80,000, which is going to be split across all of the approved delegations. Okay, and for a delegation to have access to some of those funds, it requires supporters. So it requires people like yourself that believe in what we're doing to stake their OS onto the project and give us the opportunity to get a bigger or smaller chunk of that $80,000. But because we don't know probably enough details about it quite as yet, and also we've got no way of being able to estimate how much of that pot we're going to be getting in about 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever that is. Today, we're only going to be focusing our plan and strategy on the 10 Ethereum that we know are at our disposal. Okay, so the strategy is really combining, we're trying to achieve different things at the same time. On one side, we're trying to be able to have some consistent visibility. So looking for initiatives and influencers which, for a reasonably affordable price, can give us a week-on-week presence and the sort of awareness out. And we want to kind of incrementally increase the investment towards those things as the 3 months progresses. So, for example, if we're focusing on the chunk specific to the advertisement of EthereansOS, the idea is that of the 50%, so the 5 Ethereum, we're gonna do 0.75 on month 1. We're gonna then increase that to 1.75 Ethereum on month 2, and then 2.5 Ethereum on month 3. Why? Because we think that the more time goes past, the likelier it is the project is going to be completed, And therefore, we're going to be investing in the more sort of pricey marketing initiative at a time where we've got a product that actually everybody can comprehend and is fully completed and is ready to go. Okay. In addition to that, everything that we're planning today is on the basis of the current Ethereum price. So as we speak now, we're looking at the price of around, $2,500, $2,600. Okay. Not everything marketing wise can be paid in crypto. Okay, so you've got to take into consideration that we're going to have to basically convert into fiat some of this money so that we can pay potentially some YouTube influencers that don't take crypto, some Twitter influencers that don't take crypto, and so on. So it could be that the market reverses, everything turns really bullish 2 months from now, and then by month 3, those 2.5 Ethereum, they're worth actually a lot more money than they're worth now. Okay, so bear with us, and we may at some point over the next 3 months sort of go back on our words on a couple of different things, because there may be some new opportunities that we haven't considered opening up based on the higher funding that we've got at our disposal. So for now, let's focus on the things that we have that we know. So we have put together like a database of influencers where we've tracked their subscriber base, their following base, what they can do for us and for how much. And we basically created some sort of brackets or tiers that, generally speaking, they are based on the size of their reach. Okay, so to begin with, we want to make sure that we can have every week something going on. All right, and with Twitter particularly, we want to aim at, let's say, for example, a total of 8 tweets per month. Okay, so 2 per week in average. For the amount of money that we've got at our disposal, we'll be looking at people that have got approximately a range of 30 to 50,000 followers, which is what we can afford. Another thing I want to say is that we're not going to start on month 1 with investing in YouTube. Again, that is mainly to give the EthereansOS team a little bit more time to perhaps getting the next module uploaded onto the platform, so that we are ready to show something a little bit more complete when we get to that. So month 1 is very much going to be focusing on Twitter. And of course, we still haven't decided which influencers to use, but approximately somebody that has got about 40,000 followers, and we're going to be doing that every single week. We also want to ideally continue doing that across the 3 months. So hopefully we'll be able to also negotiate some better pricing with some of these people if we say that we're staying there for a longer duration of time. Moving into month 2, that's when we're going to start doing some YouTube. And having looked at the quotes that we've got so far, it looks like that with 1 Ethereum worth, we can tackle already a substantially well-exposed influencer. Obviously, we're not talking the big boy cryptos and the crypto chic of this world, but still somebody that's got a big reach. And say around the 120, 130,000 followers, which is still really good. And then as we progress into month 3, the idea is that if by that point the project got to a, if not fully completed, but almost fully completed stage, this is when we can consider actually making a big investment into a one-off video with one of the big influencers. And that could be like a Crypto Chico or a Bitboy Crypto, where we quoted you earlier, $15,000 or $20,000. Obviously, before pulling the trigger or something like that, we want to have a better understanding on what we can actually expect from it. We want to have a way that we can track the results. And also we want to make sure that you guys also feel like is the right thing to do, because the last thing we want is to spend the largest chunk of our budget into something that is actually not going to give us any form of kickback. Yeah. And this brings us to the point that I was making earlier, the event that is happening in 10 days from now. Okay. I want to highlight how important it's going to be for you guys to be part of that conversation and that action. You supporting our delegation means that we'll be able to actually make more of these investments. And in reality, as we progress, an increasing percentage will go towards advertisement for EthereanOS, which means that at some point, probably after month 3, we'll already be looking to invest at least 70 to 75% of the entire grant towards it. Okay. And we believe that as we start getting on the radar of some of these big YouTubers and influencers, we're going to start getting some real momentum, which is going to impact on the price, it's going to impact on the number of new wallet holders, and is generally going to impact on a better perception for the project. So this is the advertisement part. For ourselves, you know, as I said, we're going to keep it quite simple. We're only going to be investing on some lower tier influencers so that we can actually get more subscribers, more followers watching these videos. And that, again, in a way or another, is still part of the EthereansOS advertisement, because we are advertising EthereansOS like they would. The investment part, as I said, we're going to need a few things to get started, but we are not going to be continue to invest in that. Perhaps occasionally there may be like a one-off expense that we may need for like a piece of equipment, or maybe like a running an event, or doing something like that. And when and if that happens, then we will make you involved into that conversation, and probably we will put it down to vote. And that is pretty much most of the stuff that we wanted to talk about. I think I've covered to this point. As I said, the farming part, we're parking it for now. We may revisit it later on. And I think the upcoming $80,000 amount that's coming in 10 days, depending on what chunk we can potentially get access to, that is also going to have an impact on what we decide to do for that. Yes, so this is about it, guys. I just wanted to sort of bring up 2 points just to make some things a little clearer from what I said earlier. The startup investment part, the one where we have allocated 1 Ethereum towards equipment and things that we need, etc., that is also to cover some of the costs that we already implemented to get the delegation up, and that's a lot of gas fees, actually getting the Web 3.0 domain that we already bought registered, and things like that. The other point that I can't emphasize more is, please be conscious that 10 days from now, there will be an opportunity for you to have a say on who is to take a chunk of that $80,000 grant. That is super important, because that is the difference for us between being able to do average promotion to high-end promotion, small, medium impact to big impact. Okay, $15,000, guys, $20,000 for one video, it's a huge expense. And as much as, you know, even we could do it now and just splash on that, you know, it doesn't sound like a very sort of responsible thing to do, and now when we have never done it before. So being able to have those additional funds means that already on month 2 and month 3, we can already start doing some of these very heavyweight video promotions, which we believe are going to have ultimately over time a very good impact. So when the time comes to vote, please get part of that process. I know it's there is a lot of us in the community, and it's very easy for you to say, oh, I'm not gonna stake, I'm not gonna stake my OS because somebody else is gonna do it, right? But guys, every OS counts, okay? So we would really, really appreciate your support. Ultimately, we're working for you guys. We're working to get the name out there, and the more noise we can make, the more we can all benefit from it all together, all right? So thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys having watched the video all to the end. If you've got any comments or any question or any ideas, you're always welcome to get in touch with us. And until further updates, we'll catch soon.